Welcome back, Saber fans. Tony here from Sabers, and today another install review for you. If you're new to the channel, I do install, repair, and review these sabers, so please like, comment, and subscribe. I also have a website, RoninSabers.com, where you can find my finished products and sound fonts. So if you're interested in that, definitely check out the link in the description below. So here we have a Korbanth the Dark Saber. This is their version of the Dark Saber from the Mandalorian slash Book of Boba Fett slash, I guess, Clone Wars and stuff. Mainly so the prop used in the Mandalorian. And so very hefty, very heavy. For everyone that was like ordered these, it took several months. There were some that would gotten delivered, and those that were part of the second batch that were basically delayed for a very long time. I believe we ordered it, or the hilt itself was ordered in February, and we didn't get it until just a few weeks ago. So my goal was to try to get this saber installed as fast as possible, and so I already had the majority of the parts ordered and got by the time this hilt arrived. Now, the customer that ordered this, Joe, I've gone through and made sure everything was working properly and whatnot with the saber. There was a few cosmetic things with the hilt that were, because this hilt is casted metal, and so it's a bit different than, you know, you can unthread things and do things. It's not like that with this hilt. And so to access the chassis and take apart the saber, you have to take out this little screw, pull off the pommel cap, and you can pull out the entirety of the chassis. Now, it might take a bit to basically undo. There's a lip in there that you have to kind of undo, so you'll kind of run into it when you put it in, right about there. And then when you take it out, it's the same thing, right about there. And so it's not much. You just pull a little bit harder, and then, because I had sanded down the little lip. And so, yeah, so we have got a Saber Armory chassis here. Removable battery, one button. The one button illuminates. A lot of stuff. A lot of good fonts on this as well. And so the blade originally came installed from Korbanth, so I didn't have to necessarily install that, which was quite nice. He chose some very good fonts on here, basically telling the Dark Sword story, and then a lot of cool, unique blade styles that show up very nicely on the Dark Saber blade. Now, it's it's very quiet, so I try to crank the speaker as loud as possible, and also the blade is very fragile. It's not going to be a saber that you swing around aggressively and you know, mess around and you know, duel with this. There's no contact with this blade. This blade's very fragile. It's very thin. It's very flat, and this is one of the very first I guess Dark Saber blades I should have. I've had Dark Sabers on the channel before, but those all had normal Neopixel blades. This is the first one that I've had actually a Dark Saber blade. So very, very nice. The blade was a bit bent. I've tried to bend it back as much as possible, so it should be good now. And then the tip is as far as it can go for Neopixel, so I tried to fix that as much as possible. Now, it has 4 retention screws that you have to tighten to make sure the blade stays on fully. If you tighten only one, like a normal lightsaber, it's going to wiggle back and forth. And so I recommend you tighten all of these retention screws down. And this does come with a blade plug as well, and all the cool little accessories. It comes with the Allen key and retention screws, extra retention screws, which was very nice. In the past, I've actually been missing retention screws from Korbanth products, and so that was very reassuring and nice. And so tighten all these guys down. And so I'm keeping the light on for now so you can see the blade in it and all this stuff. One thing I thought that was kind of interesting, in my opinion, the scrapes and stuff that are on the blade, the little like designs or whatever, they're not as cool up and close up as they are far away, because they look very animated and stuff. I was expecting like lightning and very realistic stuff, but far away, I'm not sure how well you can tell on camera. It probably looks pretty cool. And so one thing we'll do real quick is we'll have it boot up, and then I'll go back a font so you can get that really cool font sound, and then we'll show you off the fonts. So this will be running FET263's one button mod, and so you want to hold all the blades down.
Select presets.
That's not what I want to do.
Prepare a boarding party.
So you go back a font. It has a passive battery monitor, of course, on the party blade. I'm going to go through all 10 fonts, so we'll end up back on the party blade. But first up,
I am Pre-Vizsla. We are the Death Watch, descendants of the true warrior faith all Mandalorians once knew.
So this is Dark V1, so I'll just go through all of them. Well, it's dark fonts, but a lot of them. This is the Pre-Vizsla version. Very cool. So I'm not sure how well you can see it, but there's a really cool little blade effect with it. That looks really good on the thing. I'll show it over here as well. All the Dark Sword blade styles would be like that, which is nice.
So be it.
So just hold for 2 seconds while the saber is on to play force effects. Double tap to play tracks. This has the Vizsla theme on there. Next up.
I claim this sword, and my rightful place as leader of Death Watch.
Of course, this is the Maul version. Different blasters. Different force effects.
You're all traitors!
Unfortunately for you, history will not see it that way. If you will not join me, you will all die.
And so, very, very cool. And then for multi-blast, you want to hold and swing. I'll give you that low, or multi-blast begin. You can swing your saber. The blasters, take out of it, tap once more. For color changing, you can tap 4 times and it'll go color changing. It won't really do anything on the white blades, but for other sabers you can do it, so. It'll change the hue of the silver, I should say. It's quite cool. And so, yeah. Next up.
Maybe I should practice more first.
Take it. It's yours.
This is the
blade.
Excuse you. This is the Sabine Wren version.
You're not fighting with a simple blade as much as you are directing a current of power.
It's heavier than I thought.
Energy constantly flows through the crystal.
This has Ezra's theme as the track. Next up.
Moff Gideon.
This is the Moff Gideon version. This is the V3, I believe.
I would prefer to avoid any further violence and encourage a moment of consideration. The structure you are trapped in will be razed in short order. Just as you betrayed our business arrangement, I would gladly break any promise and watch you die in my hand.
The saber is pretty heavy. That's worth mentioning for sure.
Just as you betrayed our business arrangement, I would gladly break any promise and watch you die in my hand.
The track for this is, I believe I call Troopers. It's the Dark Troopers. Yeah. Next up.
It belongs to you.
So this is the Beskar version. This is when basically transition between Moff Gideon and Din Djarin. So this one I decided to do something different with the clashes, blasters, and lockup. It's all an orange hue, symbolizing the metal heating up when the dark sword hits it. Next up.
This is the way.
This is when it's in Din Djarin's or the Mandalorian's possession. So that's the Mando track on there. And then you have force effects.
In order for her to wield the Darksaber again, she would need to defeat you in combat. Without that blade, she's a pretender.
Now this one I decided to do more the live action version of the Darksaber blade instead of the animated version. So that's the same for all these the Mandalorian versions. Because I did the realistic version, which is a bit different. It's very flickery. Next up.
This is an N1 starfighter.
So that ends the story of the Mandalorian Darksaber thus far, and now we get to Book of Boba Fett, I should say, and this is N1 Mod by Kyberphonic. Some very good choices for fonts on this blade because they look so unique. This is an unstable or unraged unstable blade, so it has white going through it and stuff. very long retraction. Another very good feature is those windows in the emitter, which are very, very nice. This has a Naboo track on there, as well as tracks from the Book of Boba Fett. Next up, this is Warp Star by Korbanth. This is a Kirby-inspired font. Very, very fun.
Great Mother.
This is Great Mother by Korbanth. This is a Mother Townsend font. I decided to do something different on this as well. This is a smoke blade symbolizing Mother Townsend's magic, which looks very, very good on the Darksaber. So it'll flow and move and stuff like that. Very, very cool. Very eerie. This is the same very, very unique blade style, also green. This is the Project Stardust. This is a Death Star inspired font. Some more crazy kind of blade style by Fet263. Very flickery.
Jedi, prepare for death.
This is Electrostaff by Korbanth. This is a Magna Guard inspired font. So another erratic, really cool blade style. This is an electricity blade style.
Foolish Jedi. You will fall, Jedi. Foolish Jedi. You will not escape.
So that's just Fate Says the track on this one.
Now this is pod racing.
This is F1 Speeder by Korbanth. As a Jedi Fallen Order blade style, symbolizing the electric pulse between the two engines in Phantom Menace.
Eat fumes, Wormo! Ah!
A lot of cool stuff on there. I think one of the coolest parts for me is the track. Flag Parade. Boba versus Anakin. And then the celebration.
You want me to put the hammer down?
This is Thunder God by Korbanth, another really good blade style where you can summon the lightning and then it'll shoot back to the sky when you're done. This is, again, Thunder God. It has a storm blade, so it'll flicker like lightning. I'll show you here. And then when you turn it off, it'll go back to the sky. So yeah, very, very cool. Very excited. That was another one that was very, very cool to me. Next up.
You ever hear the tragedy of Darth Plagueis the Wise?
This is The Tragedy by Korbanth. An unstable kind of build-up. Double tap and hold for lightning block. Force effects. This is one, so he picked majority of the fonts, but then for the 10 Korbanth deal that I have, but he had a few that he did not change, or did not choose, and he was like, you know, put something on there, and I think it was just one font that was missing out of those 10, and so I decided to go with Unstable V2, another very cool looking blade style on this dark sword. So, over here. Kylo Ren's theme on there.
Prepare a boarding party.
And last but not least, you have your passive battery monitor, which fits perfectly in those vents, and then the party blade. Also looks really good on this saber. So that concludes the install/review for the Korbanth The Dark Saber. I hope the customer enjoys it. I hope you enjoyed it. Have a wonderful day, and may the Force be with you.